It is a common misconception that the builders of the pyramids were slaves, forced to work by the king. However, these workers were for the most part skilled builders and craftsmen in the permanent service of the king. The specific numbers of the workforce needed for the building of such monuments is difficult to precisely identify. What we do know is that these men were divided into crews of peasant conscripts of about 2,000 men. The crews were divided into 2 gangs, which in turn were divided into 5 groups, called sa'a, of 200 men. These groups were themselves divided into 10 divisions of 20 men, or maybe 20 divisions of 10 men. The different gangs had names, which usually included that of the reigning king, such as Friends of Khufu and the Drunkards of Menkaure. These different gangs had different tasks within the construction of the pyramid. Thanks to expeditions carried out throughout the 20th century, we have access to the skeletal remains of some of the pyramid builders, and these have been analyzed in bioarchaeological studies. To be able to further gauge how the health of the pyramid builders compare to other people living at Giza contemporaneously, various indicators of health have been compared from these 2 populations, coming from the Western Cemetery for high officials and the Southeast Cemetery for workers. The evidence shows that the pyramid workers died earlier in life than their more privileged counterparts, who were also living at Giza. Men died nearly 10 years earlier, and women died roughly 5 years sooner. The female workers from Giza, however, exhibit a smaller stature than their Amarna counterparts, standing at 150.53 centimeters, while the Amarna women were roughly 154.02 centimeters. The laborers at Giza display severe changes to their vertebral bodies, the largest part of an individual vertebra, which indicates that they experience fairly high levels of spinal trauma. Recent evidence from the Giza Plateau suggests that, at least in the case of Khafre and Menkaure, the workmen were living in permanent settlements that actually represent some of the earliest known urban planning. In these workmen's villages, we find abundant remains of high-quality animals, such as cattle and sheep and goats, which were not normally part of the daily diet of the commoners. In addition, the remains of 2 bakeries and 1 hospital were recovered, again pointing to the high-quality treatment that these workers received.